Hey, this is Dan Pro. Hey, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna use Photoshop generative fill. We're gonna bring a green screen into Wirecast and show you how we use Wirecast to drop that green screen off. This way, you don't have to do a lot of work in Photoshop generative fill AI in order to get that background off. Because usually when you make your items, they're sitting on certain backgrounds. We're showing you how to use a green screen process in Photoshop to make that happen, where it's much easier to drop the background off the item or the object than if you do it the regular way. Hey, let's get started. Okay, so we in Photoshop. We're using beta. We start a new process or a new project. And what I want to do is I'm going to use not vertical, I'm going to use web large because we want landscape, but you can use vertical landscape. It's up to you, whatever your project is. Let's get that down so we can see it. Let's move this panoramic filters out the way. Let's get this out the way. So now you see we got our canvas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my canvas into a green because I want to use everything green. So we got a green canvas. So now what I want to do is I'm going to just go up here and get my usual generative fill. And I'm going to say, create an automobile. Create automobile. And we're going to see what they come up with. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do with generative fill. Okay, so AI created me an automobile. Now you see over here, well, we got our normal 3 choices. So you see I can use different automobiles. If I don't like that, I'm gonna go right here. I'm gonna generate 3 more automobiles. And there we have it, we get 3 more choices. And I could be a little more specific whether I want small, mid-size, luxury. It depends on what you tell generative fill, but you see how good the pictures are or what AI created for you. So now the simple process is just as simple as going up here to File. We're going to come down to Export, PNG. I'm going to hit that. This is my file, Wirecast snapshots, where I normally save my files I want to use in Wirecast. So I'm just going to say green car. And then I'm going to hit save. And now it's that simple. We're done with the process over in Photoshop. So let's switch back to Wirecast. So here I am in Wirecast. Now let's take me off the screen. So now what I want to do is I want to put that car on the screen to use as a object in my project. So let's find our green car. And there it is right there. So let's bring that into Wirecast. So now you see my green car. Now you know in Wirecast how you drop your chroma key off. So you go right up here, hit the plus sign. So now you got your choice of chroma key, luma key, color key. We're going to hit chroma key. So now you see, I dropped my screen off. I got my car. So now I can go into Wirecast using its parameters, and I can use my car however I want. So if I want to lay it down like the rest of everything else that's on the picture, or I might want to use some angles, I can use some angles like so. And I could bring it up here. So your imagination is the whole thing. Sometimes I like to take reflection and see my reflection down there, and there's ways to adjust that reflection as well. So it's just all about how you want to play with it. So you see I take my bottom parameter, and now I got a reflection. So that's a pretty big reflection. So we just want a little reflection. So now we got it looking pretty good there. So that's pretty much how you do it. Now you can play around with this. So I can go in the background as we already covered, and I can give it a blur, and that'll give it a little more pop. So if I get a background a little more blur, so the car will stand out, depending on what I want to emphasize here. But you see how we use that to our benefit, the green screen in Photoshop, instead of trying to make generative fill without it, because it's a more tedious project trying to get that background off if you put that generative fill on a regular background, because it's going to use part of that as its background. Okay, that's pretty much it. And I just want you to see how I use green screen in Photoshop and in Wirecast Pro in order to get the objects using generative fill AI for anything that I might want to use in one of my backgrounds. That include desks, cities, shoes, gold shoes, whatever I instruct generative fill to do. Okay, there you have it. It's a pretty simple process. It's using a green background instead of a regular background or a generative background, where when you want to use that object's solo, it's sometimes tedious to drop that background. So if you just use a green background, tell generative fill what it is that you want, it's easy to drop that background off. I just so happen to use Wirecast, but you can use it in any process to drop the green off and use it in your projects. Hey, I'm Dan Land Pro, Steps Express. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. Till next time, peace.